Right. Welcome, everybody. Hope everybody is well. It is Thursday, 6th of August, 8:03, and obviously we are we're ready to rock and roll for the London session. So let's get started. So, let's just obviously have a little bit of a look at what's been, happening, why it's been happening. We did have a bit of a tail off on dollar yesterday, but I think everything is as expected. Dollar is going to struggle to push. Lower. We do have obviously dollar roundabout breaking this yields 0.2% up, so it's still high. We've also got it all marked out. This red zone here is our danger. So we've also got oil. Oil is the one which is, if we're looking at this on a daily, had this big dive off on Tuesday. Not a lot's happened. Wednesday, not a lot's happening so far today, but still below 80, which is, our kind of happy, line here. Anything below 80 is going to reduce inflation, inflation uh, worries overall. Now, like I mentioned yesterday, we're obviously looking at the dollar in regards to, it's not got its back up there, so it can't it can't trend higher just because obviously oil and yields are trending higher. Now, I do kind of feel that there was a bit of displacement, but obviously it's kind of almost been caught up where yields had this drop. I do feel potentially they might drop a little bit lower, and then we've obviously had oil has 100% had this, which has caught up with dollar really. So the dollar is obviously starting to pause. So let's wait and see what's going to happen today. Looking into why that's gone. Investing. There we go. Economic calendar. There we go. So today, sorry, my internet for some reasons not that great here. Let's obviously have a little look at yesterday. I had some kind of mixed the data. We had obviously good non-manufacturing prices in July. We had good, services and composite PMI, but obviously manufacturing PMI was down slightly. But I'd still say that's a, you know, yeah, reasonable place. If we look at everything here, it was a 54 last month. It was expected a bit higher, but obviously not, not that much higher. Remember with PMI 50 plus, that's obviously your magic number because that's an expanding economy. And then obviously below 50 is a deflating economy. So employment, that's obviously a little bit worrying here. But obviously, it's to be expected. Companies are not going to be employing staff with all these inflation worries and additional costs. Remember that there's always a bit of a knock-on effect. If all prices are high, everything becomes expensive. Just go and have a look at your petrol pump prices. Yes, oil has dropped, but we've not caught up because everyone's that oil, that fuel at a price, and obviously they've then got to use that up before they can buy more at a cheaper price. And so just obviously, be be aware that for everything to recover, we probably need 2 months, for it to start to slowly get back to normal. So, yeah, let's, we'll wait and see what happens there. Today, we've got employment data, we've got jobless claims. Let's just have a look. One more look. I think I missed one yesterday. ADP. All right. So, employment, I was expecting this because, again, if inflation is high, there's worries of how long this war is gonna continue. If you've got a big company, you're not looking to expand. All right, you're not looking to expand. Especially if you're waiting for materials on the from the Strait of Hormuz. I mean, um I've got some properties in Dubai being built. There's a real, shortage of steel and the building materials in Dubai because everything's coming through the strait. And of course, there's they sent half of the workers home. It's kind of yeah, it, it's one of those things that there's a knock on. We need a really good couple of months before everything starts to. So wow, it's windy here. Right. So today, all right, things to look out for. Not a lot happening. We've got some PMI construction expecting them probably to be around about where it is. Um, Big ones are jobless claims and continuing jobless claims. These are going to be, noted. So, we're going to have to wait and see what happens here. Are we going to, see some kind of a pump here, or are we, going to really kind of, yeah, see the jobs market being hit? Because obviously it can work in two different ways at the moment for the US. If they have really, really good jobs data today and tomorrow, then obviously that's going to encourage or it's going to relieve a bit of pressure. So the Federal Reserve do not have to keep interest rates higher; they keep them where they are. So that's going to be good and bad for the economy. It obviously makes things a bit cheaper. Remember, countries don't just want um, to, they don't want to keep interest rates higher so that they are just relying on external, money coming in. So it means that internally, in the country, that are obviously not benefiting. You do need low interest rates to encourage growth because you need, companies, people to kind of borrow at a cheaper price to then obviously benefit from it. And if companies, feel that there is growth opportunities there, that's going to increase employment. And obviously when employment is increased, domestically, everyone's, spending more because everyone's in work, everyone's happy, everyone's earning more. So that's the kind of real, knock on effect from everything. And so looking at everything today, I'm sticking to buying the dollar. I cannot see it below, 99,500. We did very, very well yesterday. If we look at GBP USD here, I think we closed out, what time was it? Must have been after this big push here, so closed out, obviously had one, two, three entries, capitalized nicely. We had from the top, we had 25 pips, then we had 15 pips, and then obviously five. So, we ended up with 45 pips on GBP. Euro, I didn't have the top one trigger yesterday, but obviously, same thing. We had, I think it was this one here, so 2 o'clock. Euro, I think we took a bit. We were round about break even, a tiny bit of profits. We closed out in a loss on one, which was about a 4 pip loss, and then we closed out on the other one, which was profit wise was about 7 pips. So yeah, happy. So right, let's have a look. I'm probably going to stick to euro and pound again. Look at USDJPY. You cannot be trading this right now. It's horrible. Look at this range from Tuesday. All right, we have had no movement at all. Look at all of this. I mean, if you look at this from Tuesday 12 to Thursday 8, and if we do say let's do say if we said Wednesday 12 all the way through to to let's do an equivalent. So Wednesday 12, Friday 8. All right, we have got, that's obviously the movement that we've had. And then, look at how many of these we can squeeze in. It's a lot. So yeah, I would I'm going to stay away from USD JPY off the back of that. Gold, I'm also going to be, staying away from. I think we've already hit our TP this morning on our very first trade, so happy about that one. But that's what we'll wait and see what happens here. But gold, regardless of obviously what's been happening, we had strange price action yesterday. All right. So very, very strange price action. So if you imagine that's our yesterday's daily high and that's our yesterday's daily low. Now, normally, we had a big Asia. All right. Big Asia. Normally, what would have happened in New York, I was expecting trade to be something like this yesterday, within this here. But obviously, we had three, candles, which have a look through price action. That's probably, I reckon, probably every 3 months. You're gonna have, so one in every 90 days is gonna look like this. However, we did manage to capitalize, slightly. I think in the afternoon, if we look at it on a lower time frame here. I think yesterday, Wednesday. So we capitalized on this downward move here. We capitalized on this downward move here, but then price just kept drifting higher and higher and higher. So looking at where everything is here, it's just hopefully my screen will load. So if I mark up Asia, all right, I'm just going to use a box here because it's easier. Can everyone still hear me? I just want to make sure that everyone can still hear me. Just put yes in the chat if you can still hear me. Someone put yes. Okay, good. Okay, good. Right, so sorry, I've drawn that up wrong. So Asia is here. All right. So we want to almost let's mark up our lines here as well because it's quite tight. But I am expecting a slightly bigger move, but let's do Asia green. I'm expecting it a bit later on. So do this one here as well. There we go. So right. That's obviously, a few of the levels that we've got. We're trading quite tight. Oh, another fighter jet. So, we're obviously at the moment challenging this daily high. What's going to drive dollar? What's going to drive gold down? Remember, we do have de-escalation here. All right, we do have de-escalation. That should drive dollar down. The only thing that's driving it up is just sort of obviously the dollar weakness and yields weakness too. I'm not sure why my internet is so bad this morning. Another one? Come on. Load, load. Yeah, it's not very good here at the moment. I'm trying to move a little bit closer. I'm like three inches closer here. Yeah. Right. So there we go. Gold. So remember, well, what have we got, in regards to gold? We got de-escalation. All right. That should push that should push gold down slightly. Another one. Um, so yeah, that should see push gold down slightly, but obviously this move here is purely because yields have dropped, and obviously the dollar has dropped. We've just had a bit of a delayed reaction here. If you zoom out on gold, this is going to really irritate me because I can't. It's going slow. We were explaining how, you know, the other day where we had this kind of, you know, kind of a wedge happening. That's a terrible drawing. There we go. Something like that. Yeah. All right. And how will this break out here? I am actually expecting potentially two levels to get hit, and it'll be probably an area like this. I do think this needs to be retested before we obviously have any, other kind of a push uh, to the upside. So that's what I'm expecting is just price just to drift into this area here, right, and then potentially lift off. I don't think there is enough for gold to push lower at the moment, and obviously that is why price is really really hard because I can't see gold pushing lower than where it was, and I also can't see the dollar if my screen will load. There we go, pushing lower than here, and so in regards to the dollar, we obviously want to be sticking to obviously where I'm still going to be buying it. I cannot see any upside in trying to sell it. I don't think 99,500 is going to break. You know, and but then yeah, and I do think gold is due a drift in potentially midway between yesterday's candle. I can't see it obviously tapping in here, but obviously I can see gold potentially coming in and tapping into this area here. Just obviously recovering slightly. So as my internet's bad, let's go through some of these here. So we'll trade Aussie, pound, and euro again. So let's mark up obviously the daily high, previous daily low. Just look how small it was. Yes. All right, and it might not even be worth it. But then we want to allocate for obviously dollar to drift down slightly. So potentially we want to allocate for this. Let's have a look. But I'm going to trade this ever so slightly smaller here. So go for a 15 pip zone. 15 pip zone. We've got here probably 7.5. That's going to allocate a bit of movement here. That's going to be 10 range. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that. So something like this, all right. But I'm gonna make sure that everything is gonna be quite small because the daily range yesterday was tiny. So we're gonna have a 1 to 2. We're gonna go for a 30 pip TP and a 30 pip TP and a 15 pip stop loss. All right, that's what we're gonna allocate here. 2, 4, 5. There we go. Sorry, my internet here is terrible today, and I don't know why. Right, so I'm going to take these off because it'll be a bit. There we go. I can see. But that'll be our stops. TP1. Remember, because it's really really hard because I can't see gold pushing much higher, but I can't see dollar pushing much lower either. So we're in a really really tight spot here. Let's see what's happening. TP obviously 2 is there. TP1, we're going to have it nice and tight. We're going to have it back in. All right, so that's going to be obviously you didn't put that one in. So Aussie, AUD, USD, sell here. There we go. Right, let's rattle through these because my internet's not great at all. I'm going to remove these here and I'm going to because it's going to save me having to redraw them all out. Okay, cool. Right, so let's have a look at the previous day. So daily wise, put our daily high in. like daily low. Have a quick look at Asia, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. We do have an Asian. Just do, yeah, lost my trailer. Daily high, daily low. That's it. Okay. Right, we're going to put Asia in as well. So Asian high. Asian low might be good for a TP1. So I'm just going to leave yellow just to mix up a bit. I'd quite like to go into this area here, if I'm honest. I want to allocate a little bit more. Let's have a look here what we've got here. So 2, 5, and then 5. So we're going to again keep everything a little bit smaller. All right. 20, go 45 pips. Let's do that. 100. There we go. 5. Okay, cool. So something like this is what we're gonna do here. So I'm gonna put these in. Sorry, shoot one. I like the idea of making this a little bit smaller, if I'm honest. Just might raise this up slightly to 800. 800, there we go. And then we can raise this one up to here. This one to here. I think that is much better. Got this one here. We go, and then we got our TP1. I think we can allocate it a little bit higher. I have gone on the safer side of things today, so that's obviously one thing we've got to remember here. So that is, there we go. Right, screenshot this, copy image, go. GB USD, so yeah. I'm going with the dollar today just because I just cannot, see us. Um, I just can't see us. I can't see the dollar trading lower. So let's just have a look at here. So 8 hour Asia pushed up into that area. Let's do 500. I quite like that. Yeah, there we go. Asia. Maybe pushing up to 525. So that's 525. 5. A little bit smaller. Let's just adjust these slightly. So obviously our number one. That'll be our. Let's just push this. I do it. I'm confusing myself with everything there. So if we go for 20 pips and 45 on this one here, there we go. So that's what we're looking at. Stop. Sorry, entry 1, entry 2, entry 3. And we've got our lower TP2 here. TP1 will just mix it in top of this one here, so something like that. So we're not going crazy here, but obviously we will just make sure that we're erring on the safer um, side. Right, USD. Right, that's obviously the three trades for today. Alex, what needs to happen so I can break 100 to the upside? It's not going to change today. I mean, jobs data wise, if this, misses massively, and jobless claims come down like 175 below, then yeah, that might instill confidence that obviously no non-farm payroll is going to be strong. But we've got to remember the month that we've just been through. All right, obviously high. We've gone from we went from cooling calm to straight up. Wham. War is back on. So I do think the dollar has now been priced in for everything that is happening. So I do think there is only upside there, but I think it's going to happen tomorrow if it happens. Remember, jobs are supposed to increase. I don't know if they will. July was quite a tough month. I think the unemployment rate will be important for tomorrow. So let's wait and see. But yeah, I don't think there's any data that can clear. It can. I do think 100 might get tested today. Because we do have an expectation of a better non-farm payroll than expected. So this might be pre-priced in, but I don't think it's going to be crazy. But also, I don't think the dollar is that bad that it should be traded below 99,500. But yeah, let's wait and see. But yeah, apologies, I haven't had the best reception this morning, but hopefully, obviously, you guys have enjoyed it, and yeah, let's make sure we have a good day today. So have a good one, team.